But Mad Dog will lead off with what happened last night. I don't know how much more these guys can take. I know Matt Anderson texted me last night and said, "Look, the one thing that I truly actually believe is if they haven't quit yet, they won't quit." And I actually tend to believe him. I don't think that they will. That's not in Lamont Paris's DNA, and I'm not anticipating that they will. I think that what I'm trying to figure out is how tough do you have to be just to continue to go through this. I truly thought they were going to win the game when it was
No.
66-66. Phil, I thought they were going to win the game.
It looked like it was like, wow, they're going to be able to pull this out, but
Yeah,
they
and
can't.
which would have been amazing if you think about it, because Ole Miss, with like 2 minutes to go in the half, was shooting 75% from the floor in the
No.
first half.
Yeah.
And I think they missed like 3 shots or something towards the end that ended up getting them down to, I think it was 62.5% or something like that. And I was kind of wondering, like, what's going on here? I mean, that's not normal. I know that the one kid, the Dia kid, just kept. I mean, he was hitting from all over the floor. At one point in time, he had 12 straight points.
Yeah.
In the second half, and of course, that's when he really got going. Yeah, but I was trying to, it was hard to comprehend what was going on. You can certainly make the argument that poor free throw shooting once again led to the demise. They only turned it over 9 times in the whole game. The problem is 2 of those turnovers came at the very end when they were trying to win the game.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so the turnovers are a part of this once again, Phil, at inopportune times. I've just never. I mean, clearly we've never seen anything like it. They've never lost this many games in a row. It's just heartbreak. I mean, I don't know how you could cut the mic on and be critical. I don't even have it in me to be critical. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, you just feel for them.
Yeah. It's like you can. I mean, they're fighting. I mean, and that's the good thing. It's like Whittle said. It was like, well, they just keep getting out there and fight. They haven't lost that, which is good. But my goodness, man, when they in times of private and quiet reflection for these guys on this team, and they look back, it's just got to be eating away at them.
Yeah.
But I mean, to JC's point on it, they just don't know how to win like right now. And I figured that if they could just break through and grab a conference win, that it would kind of build a little momentum. But they keep standing in their own way, and I hate it because they're playing these tough games against tough opponents. I mean, but there's only so far you can take that when you're losing 1 or 2 possession games in basketball. I mean, there's, it was 3 points right there with 12 seconds left. I mean, so 1 possession, and then, you miss a bunny, or, you're under the basket and can't hit it. And then they give you a layup. I mean, you get the free throws and you're not hitting those at a clip. Cause I think I don't have the percentage in front of me. I clicked off of it, but I mean, it was worse than it had been in the past couple of games where it looked like, okay, maybe this is not necessarily the issue. And then, like you said, the turnovers, it wasn't, I mean, the stat line doesn't look as ugly as it has early, but the timing of those is exactly what killed you right there at the end. And it's just the dagger, and you hate to see it because it's, like you said, unprecedented territory here. Nobody knows what to think. I still think that this team's got to win in them, but they're going to have to dig deep to find it.
Yeah, they got the Gators coming up next down in Florida, and of course they should have beat them. They lost that game 70-69 at the CLA. A few weeks ago now, I guess.
Yeah, that that was the toughest one, I think.
Yeah, you got back-to-back road trips now. 3 of the next 4 are not even at home. You got to go to Florida, LSU, then you got Texas coming in, you head to Missouri, and then back-to-back home games, Arkansas, Georgia, and then that final trip to Tennessee. Seems like a little bit of a doozy. I mean, they did win there last year, but Bruin points out they could be 16-7, a whole different narrative. Yeah, you're not wrong. He's obviously right about that. I mean, shoot, man, they could be 14-10 right now and 4-7 in the league and still be on the bubble. Can you
Yep.
believe that?
I
I
know.
mean, yeah, I mean they could, that's how thin the line is between appearing to be really, really bad and appearing to be really, really good. I mean, look, if there's a positive in any of this, they would win the ACC.
Right. I know.
They're undefeated against that league.
It would figure. I mean, there's always been this trend shifting towards the SEC, but this year it's just glaring, right? That the shift in power from the traditional powers in basketball has completed its cycle now and has settled itself in the Southeastern Conference. But
just bonkers, man.
I know,
I mean,
I know.
yeah. There, it's look. We could spend 2 hours on this. There's no point. You're saying the same thing. It seems like every other game, basically. I just, I don't know. I don't know what else. I mean, I think Derek said it best last night on the broadcast. The margin of error for this team is so thin.
Yes.
And when you get anywhere near it, they lose. They just aren't good enough. And it's heartbreaking to see it. I do appreciate the fight of them. Literally and figuratively. I mean,
Right.
I think last night, they kind of had enough. I mean, Jamari Thomas was playing as hard as he could, and he had a couple of tough moments there. They were kind of banging him around. He stood his ground on that. And Zach Davis, Pringle. I mean, these guys are, they haven't lost their will, I don't think. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, you look at the rest of the slate here: 4 road games and 3 home games, and it's hard to predict wins on the road. Certainly seems like your home games are an opportunity.
Yeah.
Texas and Arkansas and Georgia, those are 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 11 teams ranked 11 through 15 in this conference. And maybe you can pick up a couple of wins there and maybe feel decently about yourself going into the SEC tournament. And then who knows? Who knows what happens? I mean, that's the only way to look at it right now. But
yeah, their confidence is shaken, though. It's just you're going to have to find a way to get over that. It's like a mental block, it seems almost. I hate it. It's like, but you got to learn how to win.
Yeah. As Julia, it's a great question.
Yeah,
headlock is a common foul. It's not a basketball play, and the rule book states if it's not a basketball play, it's flagrant. So
it did. I was listening to the radio call early, and you could feel the tension and the pressure from the fans at the CLA coming through. I mean, Derek does a great job of bringing that out as well, and being able to personify that. But you could just tell, it's like, man, one more of these goes the wrong way, you may very well have a real fight on your hands.
Yeah. It was getting close. Ole Miss has been like that for a long